Good morning. Now, before we get too far into today's episode, there's something really important that I've got to say. Got a comment from our friend Dave. And Dave was mentioning that in the UK, I don't know if I fully understand the comment, but what he's trying to say is that the 220 over there is not the same as it is over here. Yesterday, apparently I made a statement that wasn't 100% true. In fact, it may not have even been 1% true. I said that it didn't matter if you plugged your cord in, your plug in this way or this way, and it would be the same. But apparently, the 220 in the UK is different from the 220 over here in North America. If it works out, maybe what I'll do is we'll go down into the workshop later, and I'll take my voltmeter down there, and I'll show you what's actually coming out of the plug and where it's coming out. It's all I can do. I'm not an electrician. I'm not even a model maker. I don't know what I am. I'm an express clerk at the bus depot. I'm good at that. Well, I was. Anyway, yeah. Now, about today, what I'd like to do today is I'd like to clear coat this one piece, let it dry, and then try our panel line color on this small piece before we make a huge mess of the main deck. This piece is small enough that I probably, if it really looks bad, I could probably get it all off somehow without dissolving the plastic. I don't know, maybe Windex, or it could be that Windex won't work on clear coat. I don't know. I don't think I've tried it. I know the Windex will take this completely off, and you'd never know it was on. However, once it's clear coated, that might be a different story. Yeah, anyway, so let's get going today. I am hoping to do a little bit more on the ship than I did yesterday. If I keep talking, I'm not going to get at it. Oh, the sunrise this morning. And you might maybe notice rabbits are scampering back and forth. The rabbits are really getting thick. Last night, here's what happened. Last night, I don't know if you know this or not, but I've got a monitor like this beside my bed. And if I can't sleep, or if I'm having trouble getting to sleep, I'll just sort of stare at it. Next thing I know, I've dozed off. So anyway, I'm looking at the monitor, and this is just right after I went to bed. And I noticed there was rabbits where the carrots were supposed to be. Well, there was no carrots. I get up, put the clothes back on, cut up some carrots, take them out, and I watch. And if I can find it, there was a mother and I believe 3 baby rabbits. Now the babies are getting pretty big. They're almost half as big as a full-size rabbit now. So I never did get to see any really tiny ones this year. I remember one year I did. They usually keep the mothers or whoever keep their babies hidden in the thickets or wherever until they get to the place where they can probably run away from predators. At least that's what I'm thinking is happening. I don't think that rabbits actually think about things. I think they just react to the way they're programmed, you might say. Anyway, I'm starting to ramble here, and I'm probably going to forget to show you the baby rabbits. Oh, is this going to be another one of those days? I really want to get at this today. Right now, I've got to put the clear coat on. Otherwise, it's going to be the paint the way it is right now is like a blotter. If I was to put the panel line color on here without clear coat, it would just absorb into all this flat paint. So let's get going here. So, okay, some of you are wondering, what is it that I forgot to do when I drove off? And some of you saw it. Forgot to open my mirror. And Yeah, I probably drove about, I guess 3 kilometers before I noticed that it was closed. And it wasn't until I went to change lanes and I looked over to my right and they, well, couldn't see. So I simply just adjusted my other mirror accordingly. Now, the reason why I have this closed is because if somebody's walking by here, let's say, for instance, my 100, or rather my 200 scale Yamato is being delivered, and the person is walking along and they bump their arm on the mirror sticking out and they drop my ship. Well, we can't have that now, can we? Okay. Now, apparently I did thin this out. This probably goes way back to the Bismarck. And it seems pretty watery, so I don't think I need to worry about it not being extra thinned. I don't know if the paint retarder in this will have a bad reaction, so I don't want to mess around with that. I don't think I'm going to need it. Now, if you will recall, an episode or two back, I started to say something, there is something that bothers me, and then, which is quite common with me lately, I got sidetracked and started talking about something else. Now, what I was kind of concerned about was the fact that all this painting that I'm doing on the deck is going to sort of fill in the holes. Like I'm going to be able to see where they are. That's not going to be a problem. We're going to be able to tell where the holes are, but they're going to be smaller, and the various parts are not going to want to easily plug in. I may find that I'm going to have to maybe drill out the holes, or maybe I'll be lucky and the extra thin or whatever I'm going to use, when I drop a little minute amount in the hole, it will soften the paint and everything, and the part will plug into it. I don't know. We'll just have to see what happens when we get there. But my goal here with the clear coat is I don't want to have it on so thick that it's going to flow into the holes, and yet I want to have it heavy enough that it is going to completely put a membrane of flat clear across the whole thing. Now, I don't know if flat clear is as good that way as gloss clear. You can, before I shook this up a moment ago, the pigment from this has settled to the bottom, and I think that's what sort of gives it its flat appearance. There's little particles of something in there. Anyway, let's just give this a whirl here, and I'm going to start off with my airbrush adjusted to the same pressure it was when we were painting the deck. I might have to turn it up. I'm going to see if maybe I can turn it down. Or, you know, my problem, the idea is, you know, you're supposed to go get the air flowing and then adjust your paint flow accordingly, like this. Like I know how that goes. But I just don't seem to have the dexterity for that. If I really concentrate on it, yeah, I can do it. But it doesn't come. It's not second nature to me. But it's a neat trick. You just get your air flowing, and then you increase the volume of your paint like this. Anyway. Uh-oh. Oh my goodness. We got quite a bit. I guess we got probably 3/4 of a jar there. And
That clattering that you just heard was I bumped the lens cap for the camera. Okay, are we ready to give this a whirl and see what happens? I think we are. Let's just check this out before I zoom in a little bit here. I don't know if anything's coming out or not here. I think I'm going to have to increase my pressure a bit here. We got it now. I'm up to about 18 pounds. Okay, let's zoom in here. Alright, I hope we're still in focus. And we'll... I forgot to turn my fan on. Okay, we're all cleaned up here. Now, you know, it's kind of disconcerting in that I go to all the effort yesterday of putting in a switch to turn the fan on nice and conveniently, and then I forget to turn it on. I don't know if I should laugh or cry here. Alright, it's still a little bit glossy looking in some places where it went on a little bit heavy. I'm guessing about half an hour has passed again. We'll let this dry off really good. And I don't know why I'm looking at this side. I guess it was just to see if anything ran through. I don't think it pooled on anywhere, although I was noticing on flat surfaces it did look glossy when it was wet, so I knew that I got good coverage, I believe. We're going to know probably tomorrow when we try to do the panel line thing. I don't want to do it today. I want to let this clear coat, cure, dry really well. We will take a closer look a little later today. What do we got here? It's almost 11:30. Yeah, maybe we'll have time to look at it. I'd like to let it dry though before we look at it. Anyway, yeah, that's disconcerting. I'm making a lot of mistakes lately like that. You know, forgetting to do things that like turn on the fan. And all I had to do was just reach up. Anyway, yeah. Let's go down in the workshop here. I shot a scene earlier this morning about the 120, 240 volts, and you'll notice I make a lot of mistakes down there too. I mean one thing, but I say another. I don't know. Should I hang this hobby up? Or maybe what I should do is I'll just keep at the hobby, but I'll keep my mouth shut. Anyway, let's go down in the basement and I'll show you what I did earlier. Over there we have a 220 outlet. I'll see if I can make room. This saw weighs about 500 pounds, maybe more with a stand, but because it's on wheels, I can move it anywhere I want. I think I've mentioned this before, but all my heavy stuff is on wheels. The jointer, both the band saws. Oh, somebody was commenting about the fact I've got 2 band saws. Well, the only thing they got in common is their band saws. They're quite different. The one has a 1 1/4 inch blade on it, and the other one I generally just have a 1/4 inch blade on it. So at the time it seemed like a good idea. No matter what I wanted to do, I didn't have to switch blades. Anyway, yeah, so it's really handy to have the stuff on wheels. You move it around where you want it. The only thing I don't have on wheels that's heavy is the hollow chisel mortiser. Don't use that too much. In fact, remember the other day I was in here and I was kind of joking about, about the hollow chisel mortiser. Well, the only thing I used it for was to make the stand that it's sitting on. Yeah, Tennessee Jim and me, we've got this thing going on about hollow chisel mortisers. Anyway, let's see if we can recompose here and set it up so that when I plug the thing into the holes, you can see what happens. Yeah, I think I can fasten that on there somehow. I'll just recompose here. Okay, these LED screens, if you get the light just right, they're quite clear. If you have the light wrong, you can't read them at all almost. I think that should be fairly clear for you. And this plug here is the one that goes to my table saw. Now on some of these plugs, both of the prongs will be flat, and some of them will be sort of coated like this. I'm not sure what that means, but anyway, what we've got going on here on this one on the bottom here is the ground, okay? It'll be the same as this. Now, one side is going to be what you might call 120, if it'll fit in here. Okay, we got 122 volts coming in. We got a lot of power coming down here today. Okay, and this one here is 121.9, 122. These are, as far as I know, these are 2 separate. We've got 3 lines coming into the house. The ground, 120 on one side and 120 on the other. Now to get the 220, we put them together. Okay, well actually we've got 244.2 today, which is, like I say, the voltage is a little high for some reason. It's possible that the transformer for this area is maybe adjusted a little on the high side, I'm not sure. But I have noticed that it doesn't matter if I use this meter or if I use my old meter, I still would get a lot of voltage down here, more than I would think that I need. Now if I was to turn on the table saw, just for the fun of it, I'll see if I can get this to stay in here. I don't want to shove it in and short something out. I can't easily go around. I was going to turn the table saw on, you'd see the voltage drop. But anyway, so that's the way it is here in my workshop. I got 120 coming on one side, 120 coming in on the other side. Put them together, you got 220. Now, apparently in the UK that's different. Now, it wouldn't matter how I do it. I could turn them around. I'm still going to end up with the 240 rather. Yeah, it doesn't matter which way you do it. Okay, this and this are the same. Okay, you remember I was saying how some of the plugs are different, the 220 plugs? Well, this is the plug that comes with my jointer. And you can see the prongs are, I guess you'd call them flat or horizontal. The other one, this plug was this way. Yeah, it's different. I don't know why it's different. As far as I know, you got the 120 going in this one and the 120 going in this one. And of course this one's your ground. Okay, I think we beat this to death, haven't we? Okay, I'm thinking we're probably about 90% dry here. And we are putting on the macro lens for this look. Now it seems to me that in yesterday's video I had said something about we were going to go in the backyard and I would show you something interesting I saw today, so I guess I better remember to do that. So before we close off this episode, I think we'd best go and take a look in the backyard. Anyway, I think this is going to be okay. It doesn't look like the clear coat is filled in the planking. Now, if you will recall, I think it was in yesterday's episode I was saying that there was something unusual in our backyard. And yeah, now this shot right here, this was taken way back in March. And the snow was pretty much as deep as it was going to get. It might have got a little deeper there when we had that last storm. However, as the snow started to recede, a rather unusual pattern began to be revealed, and at first I didn't really, I didn't really think about it too much. I knew it was a mouse or something, but I had no idea how extensive it was. And as you can see here, when the snow's all gone, we actually have a little nest or something. Now, does anybody know what kind of a critter would have done that? Now, clearly, this was a home for something during those long, cold Winnipeg winter months. It was probably warm and dry. Well, dry anyway. I don't know how warm it could be when it was so cold out there. Anyway, but what was it? Should I use the black or the dark brown? Probably the dark brown. But that's going to be tomorrow. Thanks for watching, everybody. All being well, we will see you tomorrow.